Good morning. My name is Andrew Kreider. I'm the head of the Office of Innovation here at WCI Consulting. Today we're going over, as we said, DeskI, the integration piece that's now available for 4.1. So the first thing important to note as SAP is want to tell you that DeskI is not coming back. However, we have a lot of clients who have a significant amount of DeskI material that they need available to them, and they also want to upgrade to 4.1. So let's talk a little bit about what that means to you. Now, there is a number of different issues. So what's going to happen now is that you'll be able to access read-only content from DeskI in 4.1, and you'll be able to continue operating off of your 3.x environment to kind of continue using that material and developing that new material as you migrate to Web Intelligence. So let's talk about the first big thing is a Desktop Intelligence Compatibility Pack. This goes out with 3.6 and will be you'll be required to upgrade to 3.6 and subsequent service packs on your 3.x environment, and then also you'll need to install 4.1 on a separate environment. This means that you'll have to run two parallel communities. But as you can see right now, what happens is that either if you're in XIR2 or if you're in 3.x, you'll be able to use the report conversion tool to convert the DeskI documents to a 4.1 migrator, and you'll either be able to migrate the content directly or you'll be able to migrate the content as a web report. Okay? And again, you have to go with 6.1. And you can either use it in a 2- or 3-tier system. And so as you can see right here, DeskI documents will only be listed in the Central Management Console for administrative purposes only. There's a minimum deprecation of DeskI client functionality that's dependent on what you're exactly trying to do. And there's only client-side consumption of report content, which means that you can't recreate new material in DeskI and deploy the 4.1 or modify it from the 4.1 environment. You'll have to maintain a parallel path. So right now we can see you have your current 3.1 system, which has a number of different desktop clients, right? Either a 2-tier or 3-tier system for your database in your repository, and then you're able to currently view that through InfoView, and then also examine the folder structure in the CMC. Now with the desktop compatibility, DeskI Desktop Compatibility Pack, what you'll be able to do is add this functionality to your 3.1 environment to sync it with your 4.1 environment. And so now we can see on the left-hand side here, we see VO 3.1, which is your current environment. And then we also see the new 4.1 environment. And so we can see that the CMC Launchpad in DeskI, which is available in your browser in 4.1. And these DeskI reports will be displayed for admin purposes only. Everything else stays the same, your data sources, et cetera, they all have to contact both boxes. And here's the actual workflow happens. So you publish a desktop intelligence report to the DeskI SDK, which is talking to your local file system. And then it's also leveraging VO Enterprise Security and SDK and the framework and the movement. You move it down to the CMS and the input file repository system, which then connects down to your system, databases, and your file system. And then what happens is it goes through this WSTK bridge adapter through your connection servers to talk to your customer databases. And then you'll be able to schedule some of these reports still in your 3.1 environment. Now, it's very important to note that this is very much of a stopgap measure. It is designed, 3.1 will reach its DeskI will reach its end of life near the middle of 2014. And so this is to help you determine which reports are necessary to go through the upgrade process to get it to Web Intelligence. DCP will be supported until DeskI 3.1 is no longer supported. SAP is now recommending that you are moving all of your documents to Web Intelligence through the upgrade management tool and other conversion tools available to you. Webby will allow you to have much more flexibility in the construction of reports and the visualization, and also will be able to more integrate successfully into the web distribution environment that's being established now. Now, I misspoke. Desktop Intelligence is still end of life. It's going to be until 2015. If you're on priority 1 support, they'll support it until 2017, but at that point you should be moving completely to Web Intelligence. Now, one of the big things that we recommend when you're doing a migration of this sort, of any sort, whether it's from a 3.x environment where you have mostly webby documents to 4.1 or 4.0, or if you are migrating a majority of DeskI content, to determine what's actually being used, to best utilize your resources in-house to determine what reports need to be upgraded immediately, which ones need to be updated by end of quarter or end of year or end of month. Now, there's also a certain level of education required to move from DeskI to Web Intelligence. There are some features that are available in one and not the other. And we suggest that as you're doing this migration, as you're moving this up, you utilize training to help migrate those reports up. And again, you should, as soon as possible, you should discontinue development in Desktop Intelligence. And again, this is very much a I need these reports still, I can't get away from it kind of tool. This is not something that's going to prolong your DeskI experience.